Today I'm going to be showing you how to create a full updo with bumper bangs. This is one of the hairstyles that I'm just using over the next couple of days before I'm going to wash my hair because it's going to have a colour refresh. So I'm going to section the front part, which is what my bumper bangs is going to be. As you can see, I'm just sectioning it into a horseshoe section and just smoothing the hair over before I'm going to put it into a hairband. I don't tend to use the little plastic hairbands, I just use the small fabric hairbands. I find them better on the hair. I actually think I'm going to go a little bit further back just to create a bigger fringe. So I'm just going to use my comb just to smooth that through and just to introduce some more of the hair from behind back into the bumper bangs. It's one of my favourite hairstyles, this one. It's really easy to do and it's really manageable, and you can update it daily. You can just tidy it up quickly and add more chiffon scarves if you want to, or you can extend the thickness of the scarf at the back in case it gets a little bit messy. So what I'm doing here is I'm just tying this section just to make this really secure. Again, you'll see from my previous videos, I don't tend to use any padding for my donuts. I just like to use them with back combing and fanning the hair out. I find this easier for my hair, but it's personal preference. So we're just going to tighten this now, and we're just going to work through this ponytail in sections, back combing it just to create volume for when we're going to do our fringe roll. So I'm just going to take it into sections now, just giving it a good tease just to make sure that it's got quite a lot of volume in it, so that when we fan the hair out, the the bangs look a nice shape for you. This hairstyle is probably really the easiest one to do when your hair is a little bit dirty and you've done quite a lot of styling, because it really does mold round nicely for you. So again, we just smooth the outside just with the longer lengths of my back combing brush, just to take out some of the teasing on the outside so it remains nice and smooth. And as you can see, I'm fanning it out, so I'm not bringing the hair closely together. I'm making sure that there's quite a nice lot of width, so that when I do start my roll, it's not too small. So we're rolling it into my forehead, and I'm going to now pin it so it stays secure, and then I can start to fan my bangs out in front. You can see all I'm doing here is fanning it out with my thumbs, holding it in place with my hands. Just keep fanning that out until you get the desired shape that you want to. I'm not going to go too big because I'm adding some volume to my hair as well, and I'm also going to be adding a scarf too. Just making sure that you've got it into the shape that you want it to be, and then finishing it off with hairspray. Just smoothing it over as well with your hands so that there's no little flyaways poking out. I have got a little bit of curl in my hair where I've been doing hairstyles over the last few days, but I'm just going to add a little additional bit of curl to the hair at the back. And what we're going to then do is look to be introducing all of the hair at the back and bringing it onto the top, where we're going to create some barrel rolls. So I'm just going to use my Fabulous hair tong just to create a small amount of curl to the back bit. Hope everyone's doing okay at the moment, and all this free education and tutorials are helping you. If you do actually recreate one of our hairstyles, would you tag us on Instagram so we can have a look at your creations of what you've done? It'd be really nice to see whether my tutorials have been helping you. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to create my barrel rolls on the top of my head to create height and volume and just a structured hairstyle. As you can see, I desperately need to get my roots done, but that will have to wait. So we're just back combing, rolling into shape and pinning. Again, I am a sucker for too many pins on display, and at this stage of where my hair is at, you don't have to use too many pins. You can rely on the back combing and your styling products. So now I'm going to introduce my side sections, which I'm going to give it a bit of a tease on the inside. And then I'm going to roll into the top of my head. All the way through this process, I'm using hairspray just to secure the hairstyle. As you can see, I've removed my fingers, and it's a pinch and roll technique. And I'm not releasing my hands until I've got my pins and it feels nice and secure. And I'm going to repeat that on the other side. Again, sectioning, bringing the hair up, teasing it on the inside. I'm going to roll this now again. It's the same as I've done on the other side. Before I roll, I've just sprayed it with some hairspray. So it's a rolling around the finger technique, pinch and roll into the head. If you're not happy with it, you can have another go. Also, whilst you're watching these videos, if you think of any hairstyles that you would like to message me and maybe I could do a tutorial for you, I'm more than happy to help. Unfortunately, just before this, before COVID, I had quite a lot of my hair cut off, so I've got shorter hair to work with. So what we're now going to do is we're now going to bring up and introduce the back part of my hair. So I'm just holding this together and I'm just brushing my back combing brush over the back of my hair and bringing it up to my crown, just making sure that it's nice and smooth. And what we are going to then do is pin all of the hair up at the back. Just making sure that it's nice and smooth, just running my hand over it just to make sure that there's no bits sticking out. And then as you can see, what we're going to do, we're just going to now pin across the back. I find it easy if we try to make sure that the pins are just going across ways. Don't try and cross them over into a cross section. It just feels a lot more supportive if they're all going in the same direction. And then what I would tend to do is an opening and a closing grip. So on the right hand side, I'd make sure that it's going in one way, and then the other one is I would pin in towards that way. So it's like closing so the hair doesn't fan out and drop at the sides. And now what we're going to do is we're going to section this back part that we've introduced and brought back up, and we're going to now roll this into barrel rolls just to fill some of the space on the top to create height again. I'm just making sure that all the hair is pinned up at the back to make sure that nothing fans out. So we've got our back section and I'm just going to separate it. So we're going to bring some forward into barrel rolls, and then I'm going to have some rolling backwards in the other direction, which will be covering the pin area. So you won't see the pins from the back, but depending on how high you have your chiffon scarf at the back, you won't see that anyway. Now you can see that the updo is starting to take shape. Really nice and sleek. Obviously it's nice to have lots of colour showing. Now what we're going to do is we're just going to use our hairspray. Oh, I've missed a bit. Easily resolved with the hair grip. We're now going to go over the hairstyle with our Schwarzkopf Got to Be Good spray, which is our freezing spray. It's glue, does what it says on the tin. Just going to make sure all the flyaways are tucked in. And as I wasn't prepared, I'll just go and grab my black chiffon scarf. It's a square scarf, not a rectangle. And we're going to fold from one corner into another, which then creates a triangle. And then you're going to fold it back on itself 2 times to create a nice thickness, making sure that the folded end is at the front, bringing that round, and then we're going to tie that into place, and then we're going to finish it off with a bow. And as I've been doing quite a lot of styling over the last few days, it's always nice to rejuvenate your hair and give it some shine. So once I've got all of my hair in place and I've secured it with hairspray for the final time, I'm then going to finish the hairstyle off with some shine spray just to make it look nice and refreshed again. And I'm using fudge for this. You'll find that this hairstyle will last a good few days, and you can just rejig it every once in a while just to create more height, change your scarf, add flowers. I just think it's a really good go-to hairstyle, and it's one that you can easily do if you're in a rush. And just to confirm, these are the products that I've been using. That is Babylass, by the way, but it's an old one. Thanks very much for your time.